Hello everyone. My name is Akash, as you all know. And taking in mind that Hacktoberfest is coming round the corner in this month, so Informals have decided that we will be conducting a session on GitHub, how to do the pull request merging and the other things that we need to do in order to qualify for GitHub. Keeping in mind that thing, we have decided that we will be taking today's session. The aim of the today's session will be mostly on uh, making you exercise on the GitHub operations, that is pull request and then merging, for clone, that all things we will be showing you. And lastly, we will be telling you how to do this Hacktoberfest aim. Also, we will be giving some bonus tips. And right now, we are deciding that whether we will open our GitHub repo for this Hacktoberfest or not. Right. So this will be our sessions for today. So, okay. So let me first start off with saying that what is open source. We often talk about this that open source this, open source development, open source contribution. So, what is the main thing that open source requires? Open source means anything. First, we need to see that open source means anything, not only websites, not only apps. It can be any type of code that is free for all, that everybody can contribute to it. Right. Open source means any kind of code that everybody can contribute to. That code may be of any kind of applications, any kind of websites, any kind of you can say programs. Anything can be an open source thing. Right. So open source, the main examples of open source, as you all know, we have been using since time long. That is Ubuntu, Linux. Every these distros on Linux are open source, right? Then you can say in the case of text editors, we have been using the LibreOffice. LibreOffice is an open source. Microsoft isn't open source because it costs you money. Plus, its source code, that is its source code isn't visible to us. However, Linux's source code, then LibreOffice source code, it's openly visible to us. We can contribute to them. We can also add extensions to them that makes them qualify for open source. So the main aim of Hacktoberfest is to make you qualify for this thing, to make you contribute to open source, so that we can be more open-minded. Let me tell you a thing. Being an open source programmer, I think that open source opens up your connections, because I have met several many people while we are contributing to open source. We talk about the main distros that we can contribute to. We can talk about the main glitches, the loopholes that our program has been gone through, right? So coming back to our main thing, the Hacktoberfest. So Hacktoberfest is a event that is being organized by DigitalOcean and is funded by Dev and Intel. So as you can see, a major tech giant is supporting this. Major tech giant, that is Intel, is supporting this open source thing. That's open source event. More we can tell an open source event like Hacktoberfest. So of course, it's a great value for everyone to participate in. Right. To participate in Hacktoberfest, let me tell you a thing, that why will we should participate in Hacktoberfest? Because first of all, see, we can gain a lot of things uh, by contributing to open source, right? Because I have personally learned various types of code, various types of glitches. Also, I've been able to solve many types of glitches that our code has been gone through during this open source. People are helping out each other. So this open source is a thing that Hacktoberfest depends out its events. So for Hacktoberfest, the main aim of Hacktoberfest is to make you contribute, mind you, four pull requests at a time. We have to contribute four pull requests at a time. So coming back to the topic, that what are the coding, that what are the platforms on which we can contribute. The main thing that we will be focusing on is GitHub, because we aren't using GitLab too many times. Now, I don't think anybody here uses GitLab. If anybody, I don't prefer GitLab. I prefer mostly GitHub because of its interactive UI. Right. So I'll be taking the session on GitHub, that how can you contribute to GitHub, how can you open the pull request, how can you clone a GitHub account, and this won't be this will be helpful also for our events that we'll be conducting in this year, because mostly events you have to upload the files on the GitHub and give a pull request to us, right? So this will be helpful in every aspect. So let me share my screen. Let me open up my GitHub account so that we can have a brief intro about this thing. Just a minute. Please confirm if my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, it is
Yes,
visible.
Akash.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Okay. Okay, fine. So this is my one of my accounts. I have two accounts mainly. I have opened two accounts so that you can feel easy to check out how we open this thing. So the first thing we are going to discuss is pull requests. So let us start with the basics. So how can we how can we upload our codes in GitHub? So the main area where we can upload our code in GitHub is this repositories, or in short we can tell repos. So from the basic, if we want to upload anything, we create our own repository here by clicking on this new button, right? By clicking on this new button, we can create our own repository. Like suppose our name of this repository will be temporary repo. Right. This is the repository name. And let me tell you a trick. Suppose you think that I want to create another repository within this repo. That means another folder within this folder. So all I can do is to create another hashtag that we will be discussing later. So let me tell you, the repository name currently is temporary repo. Right. We will be adding a brief description that's optional. That's totally optional. Let me type here that this repo is just for demo purpose. Sorry. We will be making a repo public, and we will be adding a readme file, a gitignore file. A gitignore file is totally optional. Okay, and then we will be creating a create repository. So as you can see, our repository temporary repo is online now. We can add any kind of file to it. Let us suppose create new file, and we will be keeping a name such as ignore this file. So this creates a file named ignore this file, and after writing in the name, see, the main thing in GitHub is that commit. Another word we came across is commit. Commit means making any changes that we make in the GitHub temporary, permanent. That is basically the save button in case of GitHub. It's analogous to save button in GitHub, right? So in commit, we will write something like we created a temp file. This makes us more viable to identify that what we have done. When we check the history, we can easily see that yes, we have created a temporary file, so that it will be easy for us to demonstrate it. Right. Then we will do this commit new file. So this is one thing. And what if I want to add a folder to it? There is no option directly to add folders in GitHub. We see this thing. How we do this folder thing. We also see we go for create new file, and then we type a folder name, suppose a temp folder, and then we put a backslash on it. As soon as I type this backslash, it becomes a temporary folder. Right. We have to do nothing else. If you have your GitHub accounts handy, so you can try this out. As soon as I give this backslash button, it automatically creates a folder, and then we can type in a file name such as file temp. And in the commit, I will write created file temp commit new file. So see this thing in the temporary repo. What we are going to see. See a temp folder that we have created, and inside it a file temp has been created. So we have learned how to do how to make files and folders in GitHub. Now, how to upload files and folders, how to add files and folders to. For uploading files, we will go to upload files, and then we can just choose our anything. I have my assignments here, so I just want to copy paste them here, and it's as easy as it seems, right? Then we have to commit our changes, right? We added an assignment. Just we have to write a description of it and then commit means basically save button in case of GitHub. So once we commit it, it will take some time, and see a file has been created. That's it. That's how we create a file. That's how we create a folder. That's how we upload a file in GitHub, right? So the next thing that comes, the next thing that many of us confuse is what is pull request. See, I would suppose I want to check someone's Git repository, like another Git repository I have. I'm checking this. I'm just browsing through it, and I think wait, just a minute. I went to my other GitHub, and then I just opened another repository. So I think this code has some issues with it. I just read through it, and I think this code has some issues with it. So how can we rectify this issue? How can we say the contributor that yes, that you have some issue in it, you need to rectify it? So in that cases, we call pull requests so that we can inform the code owner that yes, you have some issues in your code, please rectify it. So how can we do that? Let's see. Let's see. So sorry. Let's see. So our repository is DSA 450 that I've created for the 450 DSA problems. In the repository that we need, we will be creating a pull request. We go to that repository and create a pull request. I would suppose I want to like I will be doing it from the start. Like I will be typing in my name, such as Buffer Reader. My other account name is Buffer Reader, right? So Buffer Reader, I'll be typing my name, right? So we haven't got anything. Just a minute. Yeah. So but when we search Buffer Reader, we get this option users. When we click on users, we get my name, that is Akash Nag, and my repository Buffer Reader. We get into it, and we see that I have created three repos: Hacktoberfest 2021, which has been forked from someone, Full Stack Open 2021, and DSA 450 problems. So I went to DSA 450 problems. I will add something in here. So for the first step to create a pull request, we need to fork that repo. Forking means fork means to copy a repository from another person to your GitHub account. Right. That simply to tell. Suppose I take a pen drive from my home, and I went to my friend's house and copied all his codes, and then came back to my home, plugged the pen drive into my PC, and then pasted it into my own computer. That's it. So this fork button here just does the same thing. This fork button copies this repository to my own repository. Okay, this is the repository of Buffer Reader, but I am by my account is IO exceptions, right? My account name is IO exception. So I want to copy Buffer Reader's repository DSA 450 problems into my own repository. So we will fork this, right? We will fork this. When we create on fork, see what happens. It will be clear. Wait, just a few minutes. It will be creating. Yeah. So just see this. Just see this thing. It is coming IO exception, that is my username, that is this username slash DSA 450 means DSA repository. See this thing forked from, that is where from I am copying the repository from Buffer Readers DSA 450 problem repository. That is the basically that I'm copying another person's repository into my own account's repository, right? So that's how forking works. So forking is clear to everyone. Can everybody confirm if fork is clear? If somebody has some issues with it, I can explain it again. Is everybody clear with forking? Just tell me whether I should repeat it or not. Okay. So forking is clear to everybody. Okay. When I forked the file, when I forked the repository into my own repository, now I can make the changes according to my own. Suppose, let me tell you, I want to add a file in this. I want to create a new file in this, naming uh, informals, informals demo session. I want to create a new file in this called informals demo session, and in this file I will be typing just anything, just like this file is just for demo purpose. Right. I have typed this. This file is just for demo purpose, and then I will commit the changes into the new file. Okay. So the see, informals demo session has been created for my user, that is IO exception. Keep in mind that I'm doing all these things in my user IO exception. But the actually the repository is a buffer reader. My another account buffer reader, I have created the repository in buffer reader. So will this change reflect in the buffer reader's account? No. See, this is the buffer reader account. When I open this, just a minute. When I open my DSF450 repository, see, there is no file. Let me put this together. Compare it. VS Code, arrays, linked list, everything is same, but informals demo session file is created in case of my IO exception that I have created, but there is no the informals demo session file for this, because I have just added this file for my account IO exception, right? So how can we make? I have made the changes. I have made the changes according to my own. So how can we make the original users say that yes, you need to reflect the changes into your own account? This is an issue. So you need to rectify this issue. I have rectified this issue, and now I'll be informing the user that yes, you have to rectify this issue. So in that cases, now you can call a pull request here. So in this pull request is basically a call. I'm in my home. I have copied the code from my friend's from my friend's PC to my own PC, and then I have copied it, and then I'm seeing it, and I see that yes, there is a mistake there. So I'm calling my friend, supposing saying that hello, your code is something wrong. You need to rectify it. That is the pull request. So I call a new pull request here. Right. So it's saying that see, head repository IO exceptions, the DSF 450 problem to buffer readers 450. Buffer reader is the main account, and IO exception is a secondary account which I have created, which I have forked in. So I will create a new pull request. I've just make a comment that see that I have created a new file. I have created a new file called informals demo session. Please check it, and then I will create new pull request. As soon as I create a pull request, my call has gone from me to my friend that hello, your fourth code is missing. Your fourth code is has mistakes in it. So please rectify that. So what my friend will do, I am opening the original account, that is buffer reader. So I'm refreshing. Let me refresh it. So I went to the DSF50 problems. Let me see. I see there is pull request and there is one pull request. So I see that there is one pull request. That means I have received the call. Okay, so he has informed me that there is a pull request. See, create informals demo session. This that pull request I have been created, opened for 42 seconds ago by IO exception. That is my other account. I would see the file. I would see that what changes had he made. he had made a changes that I have created a new file called informal demonstration. Please check it. Okay, so we will see that yes. So if you have made the changes, it's valid changes that file changed. This is a new file. So okay, the I if I think that my pull request is valid, this so I will merge the pull request. That is, I would make the pull request valid by copying the file from the secondary account to my primary account. That is, I will accept the pull request. I will accept the request that yes, that is my mistake. I am making the rectification right now. So as soon as I make the confirmation pull request, as soon as I merge into my main, see, merge option is showing. And now if I go to my DSL 450, informal demonstration has been created. So this is how this pull request works. Pull request is basically copying all your codes from your friend's repository to your own repository, checking it where the mistake is there or you want to add a new folder to it, then calling your friend that you need to make these changes. I have made the changes, please see to it. Then your friend will check it, and then if he thinks that yes, the changes are valid, he will just accept the pull request. So any doubt on this? Can anybody switch on the mic and tell me if anybody has doubt on this, so that I will explain it again, because it's a bit tougher topic. So anybody having any doubt on this?
Can you explain once that after the forking part, like after you add a file, can you just
Okay,
show
okay,
it
okay.
once again?
After the forking, right?
Yeah, I get the forking part. Then after then you added a new file, right? So after that, can
Okay.
you show it
So
once again?
I'm just telling from the
Just
forking
that
part.
part. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, of course. I'm telling from the forking part. Forking means that I have just copied the files from another repository to my own repository. That's fine. That's okay with you, na?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
now
yeah, yeah.
I'm checking the code, right? I'm checking this code. Just a minute. Wait, just a minute. Go to the repository. I accept. This is the IO exception users GitHub. IO exception users GitHub. So I would go to this and let me see this. That yes, array is okay, linked list is okay, stacks is okay. I think I need to add another file called create new file. I would like to add another file called temporary file. Temporary file. I need to. I think I need to add this. I need to think. I think I need to rectify this by using another temporary file. I think so. I'm just telling the mindset how you have to work with it. So in this temporary file, I would just like to inform that my name is Akash and I am contributing to your code. Just that. Just that. I need to do this thing only. Right. Now I will commit my change here. Commit new file.
Okay.
Right. So when you see it, you can see that yes, temporary file has been created for me. But but uh, but
This is the
it is
other account, right? Like not the
yes,
original accounts. Yeah, yeah.
yes,
Okay.
it's not for the original account.
Okay.
It's for your copy. You have to
Mm-hmm.
understand that when you create a folder in your PC, the change isn't reflected on your friend's PC, right? The change is
Right,
reflected on only on your own PC. So
right,
how can you tell your friend that yes, you need to reflect this change in your PC too? You need this change in your PC too. So how can I tell this? For telling this one, I need to do a pull request. Pull request is basically calling my friend, saying, "Hello, are you free? So can you just see this and that I have rectified the code? Please see this that you have made a mistake and please commit this file into your own PC." Right. So I will do a pull request. There's an option called new pull request here, where my mouse pointer is the green colored button. New pull request, and to make things simpler on his side, right? So we would just leave a comment that what changes we have made, because in the cases of large repositories there are hundreds of files. So it's obviously tougher for him to check which file has been made. So I just want to make him more clear that see, See, I have added my name in a file, in a file called temporary file. And now I would make a pull request, create pull request. As soon as I type this, a pull request has been made. Right. As soon you see this thing open, it's telling open. That means the pull request is open now. So you have called your friend. This step means you have called your friend. Now your friend will receive your call, right? Your friend will receive your call and see that that if the code is reflection. So as soon as I, so this is the buffer reader account. So let me check. So my friend has called me and okay. So I have a call, right? I have a call, pull request. Pull request is analogous to call. Just keep it in mind that pull request is analogous to call. So my friend receives my call, telling hello. Oh, what changes have you made? Then see, I have made a create temporary file change. He sees this that create temporary file change. He would go to this, right? He would go to this and see what changes have you made. He would see that see I have added a new file called temporary file. He thinks that yes, this is okay for the code, this is right. So how would he make the change into his GitHub? So for that he needs to do this merge pull request option. As soon as he merges the pull request, as soon as so see it's merged. As soon as he merges the pull request, the same changes is reflected in his account. See, temporary file. All you
Okay,
need to
okay.
do, yes,
Thank
all you need to do is to make the pull request, because accepting the pull request mainly depends on the user that you are forking from. That's our part, that's the backend part. But you need to do the pull request, and whether he will accept or not, it's up to him. He may accept the change, he may not accept the change. He may think no, I want more changes, so he may type in you, so make more changes. So he can, you can both collaborate on that. So as soon as I see this, see, I refresh this file. See, it's called merged. So this is how pull request works. When I go to my own code, when I go to my fork repository, that is DSF 450, or in my file too, temporary file, and in the other file that my friend's file, sorry, then my friend's file also temporary file has been created. Right. So is it clear?
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you.
Okay. So anyone, anybody having any more doubts? As if you don't speak up, then I won't be able to understand that if you're having any problem or not. Please, if anybody is having any kind of problem, just tell me. Otherwise, I won't be able to see it. Okay, so I'm assuming that nobody is having any more problems. So an extra tip that what I will be showing you that how to clone GitHub, right? How to clone GitHub. Cloning means this is an extra topic that this won't be needed in Hacktoberfest, but I'm just telling you for your own interest, that you for your own thing. For that, you need to do for all you need to do for the it's not compulsory, but you need to install another software called GitHub Desktop. GitHub Desktop. Right. From this account, you can download this file account called GitHub Desktop. So after it's being downloaded, so it would look like this, this icon, GitHub Desktop. So you will open it and log into your own account. So how would we clone? Cloning means suppose my I have seen a video online. I've seen a video online that I need to download it into my own computer. That is so that I can view it in offline mode. So that is the thing, clone. Cloning means downloading a repository that is online into your own local system. So how can we do it? By using this GitHub Desktop software. So just go to the
Can
file.
we cannot do it from the site, like
A site, it's
from the website,
yes, you can do it from the
GitHub
website,
software website?
but it's a bit complicated, because we need to do, I
Okay.
think I need to do a git bash, and git bash is like commands and these
Okay,
are
okay,
more
okay.
tougher than I think. So I just prefer this UI thing. So button clicking is more favorable for me. So see, I have logged into my account called Buffer Reader. Buffer Reader has this repositories. Let me take you guys to my Buffer Reader repository. I have a repository called sorry. I have my repositories called DSA450, Full Stack Open, and Hacktoberfest, right? So I need to clone a repository called DSA450. I have DSA4. I need to suppose I need to clone my DSA450 into my own repository. So see, see DSA450 buffer reader DSA450. I need to clone this repository. So I would click on this. Sorry. This has so just a minute. Just a minute. Just a minute. I would create a new folder for that. Clone. I would name the folder clone 2. Right. I would name the folder clone 2. Uh, this is a problem. Just a minute. Just a minute. Okay. So I've named my file as clone. Right. I've named my file as clone, and one I want to clone my buffer reader DSF50 repository. I just need to select the repository and just clone. That's all. The system does it all thing. You don't have to do anything more. So I have created my local at in my documents clone. Right. So we will check if it's clone or not. I will go to my documents and I'll search the folder clone to and just see it has been cloned DSF450. Everything that has been on the internet that has been in my repo, everything has been copied here. Everything. So it's beneficial for those who don't have an active internet connection. Also, you can change this. Suppose I add a new file in this open with code and I add a new file into my repository. Suppose I add new files such as I say extra dot cpp. Extra is already been there. Extra dot cpp. So I would name it as suppose here standard file. Okay. So I have made an extra file called extr.cpp. Extr. See this one I have made an extra file, but it isn't in my repository. Uh, it won't replicate automatically. You have to replicate it manually. So how would I make the changes in my online? Just go to the same software. See, it's showing that I have made a repository. Just all I need to
Akash,
do is, yes.
yeah,
Your
your
screen is
screen
not
has
visible.
frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Uh,
if possible, share your screen again.
okay, okay, okay. Sorry, my net. Is it visible right now?
Yeah, it is visible.
Okay. So from where has my video stopped? So you can tell me that for.
After you created that extra file,
Acha. So okay. So
yeah.
yeah. I have created an extra file. Let me hide this. I have created this extra file into my repository. It's at extr, not extra. That's I have already created several months ago. It's extr. Mind it. Extr file I have created it locally. I haven't still uploaded it in GitHub. So how can I make these changes appear on GitHub? Because it won't appear automatically. See, if I go to my own DSF450 and then I go for suppose it's DSF450 linked list and then extr now. So linked list. See, there is no file called extr. There is no file, but I have created it locally. So how can I make these changes online? All you need to do is to go to this GitHub desktop. It will do everything for you. Believe me, it will do everything for you. Just see extra.cpp one changed file. You can see this here. One changed file. It has been written, and it has been seen that all it full green color means it has been changed to the full, right? Full green. So all I need to do is to commit to the main and then push origin. As soon as you do this, everything will be sorted accordingly, right? So again, if I go to my ESF 450, and extr.cvp file has been created. See, everything will be done by GitHub Desktop. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to write any codes. All you need to do is to install that application, and it will guide you. It will guide you through everything, right? It will guide you through everything. It will be as smooth as butter. Believe me, because I am also a GitHub newbie, so it will guide you. So up till this, any more doubts? So I can resume my Hacktoberfest. How to contribute to Hacktoberfest? Anything more? Samik, if you are having any doubts, please tell me.
No, no, it's okay. Thank
Sure,
you.
no, because if you are having any kinds of doubt, you can just free to tell me because
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a
yeah,
bit complicated. It's a bit complicated. So yeah. So next thing, you cannot, you have to mind keeping in mind that you cannot contribute to any repository. You have to contribute to only those repositories which have their topic called Hacktoberfest. I would see. I would make your demo. I'll make you a demo. Right. We have our official repository called Informals. If we go to that repository, see, there's nothing called Hacktoberfest. There's no description, website or topics provided. So we cannot include in this. If we contribute to this repository now, there's no counting towards the Hacktoberfest. So all you need to do is to search for Hacktoberfest. Search for Hacktoberfest. Sorry, it won't search right here, but Hacktoberfest. See, a list of accounts open. Alice Wonderland, Hacktoberfest, Disk Hub. So you can just open anything you want. So I'm opening the first file only. See the difference. See, you can see the Hacktoberfest tag has been there. This Hacktoberfest tag means that if you contribute to this repository, your contribution will count towards the Hacktoberfest. You can see the pull request has been 5k plus, means 5k plus pull request has been there is still pending, means they have to accept this 5k changes. There's ISO 32, so that's okay with that them. So you have to maintain, you have to check it if before contributing. You have to check if the repository has this tag Hacktoberfest or not. So that's it. That's all about the Hacktoberfest. Uh, any more doubts on give how to contribute to Hacktoberfest? Anyone?
Can you repeat the Hack Oktoberfest part? Only the Hack
Okay.
Oktoberfest.
Yeah. Of course, of course. So I will be saying, right. Suppose you are browsing through your you are browsing through your GitHub and want to contribute to Hacktoberfest, right? Suppose you type in suppose you type in Hacktoberfest. Hacktoberfest. I want. Suppose you want to right. Suppose you want to contribute to this repository, buffer readers repository called Hacktoberfest 2021. You just need to open the repository. See this thing. You need to see this thing that in the about section there is nothing called Hacktoberfest. There will be a tag called Hacktoberfest. If there is that tag, then only your Hacktoberfest changes will reflect, otherwise it won't. For example, suppose now you have seen that this won't be gathering round, so I would check another account. I would check another account called, I would search for another account Hacktoberfest. Alice Wonderland's repository called Hacktoberfest. I would check her repository. See this thing. It has tags called JavaScript, Markdown, easy to use, first timers, and Hacktoberfest. This tag specifies that if you contribute, if you do pull requests on this repository, your Hacktober, your contribution towards Hacktoberfest will be counted, and it will count it as one pull request. So how can you see if you have your pull request? Just you need to do Hacktoberfest. I will do it that in Chrome. Hacktoberfest, and log into your account. I have already logged in, so I won't able to show to you. After logging into your account, after logging into your GitHub, it will show like this. Wait, zero total completed, zero in progress because I still haven't completed. But see, I have made a contribution that you have submitted two programs to Keshav Singh's repository called Hacktoberfest 2021 that has been excluded now. Right. So your contributions and your pull request will be seen in this page. So all you need to check is that if the repository has this tag called Hacktoberfest in it, and also make a valid pull request. That is, you can't spam every pull request. If you find a mistake in comma or in spaces, please don't do that thing, because if the main user tags your pull request as invalid, then you will be banned from the Hacktoberfest event.